Hi Reddit. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. Buckle up, because this story is the slow burn of revenge that ended with someone getting exactly what they deserved, just not how they expected. The setup. A few years ago, I worked for a mid-sized logistics company. We'll call it Northgate Shipping. I was a mid-level manager in charge of route optimization and efficiency, a pretty important job when fuel costs and deadlines rule your business. At the time, I was gunning for a big promotion, Senior Regional Logistics Director. Fancy title, huge pay bump, more say in company operations. I had busted my ass for 3 years, often working late into the night, saving the company hundreds of thousands by reworking wasteful shipping routes. Everyone, including the director of our branch, said I was the front runner. Enter Tina. Tina was the textbook definition of a corporate ladder climber. Charming on the surface, fake nice, but ruthless underneath. She'd often parrot other people's ideas in meetings, make passive-aggressive comments, and somehow still land in good graces with upper management. She and I had cordial conversations, but I always kept my distance. About 2 weeks before final interviews for the promotion, I noticed something strange. I was being locked out of files I used daily, route stats, reports I had made, client contacts, etc. At first, I thought it was IT screwing up again, until a buddy in the department tipped me off. Tina had requested access to all of my folders and reports. I confronted her about it politely, but she played dumb. Oh, I just needed to see how you organize things, since they're making us do some team training stuff next quarter. Hope that's okay. Yeah, right. The betrayal. Fast forward to interview day. I walk into the boardroom and see Tina walking out. Turns out, they had added her last minute as a candidate. I had no idea. I gave my best interview. But when the decision came down, the job went to, you guessed it, Tina. My boss, a good guy, honestly, was confused too. He pulled me aside and said the execs were blown away by Tina's use of data and her innovative restructuring of delivery zones. You mean my data and my restructuring plan? Yeah, I was pissed, but I kept it professional. For now, the plan. I'm not the kind of guy who throws tantrums, but I do believe in karma. And sometimes karma needs a little push. I started documenting everything. Luckily, I had old versions of my reports saved offline, complete with metadata showing I had created them months prior. I also had emails, meeting notes, timestamps, and even Slack messages where I outlined the ideas Tina had suddenly come up with. Then came the kicker. I reached out to a contact in HR I'd helped years ago when she was new. I casually asked about protocol for reporting intellectual theft. Just hypothetically. She offered to take a look. When I sent over the evidence, her tone changed. She looped in corporate compliance. But I wasn't done. The trap. You see, the new position Tina took? It involved overseeing multi-state operations, including one division in Alaska that had been struggling for years. It was a notoriously difficult office to run due to weather, staff turnover, and absurd transportation issues. Most execs avoided it like the plague. But here's the thing. The Alaska division was technically under the new regional director's purview, and part of the company's condition for the promotion was that the new director had to spend a full year overseeing operations on site. They hadn't enforced it in years. But now that HR and compliance were involved, they sure as hell would. I stayed quiet. I watched. Tina had no idea what was coming. The fallout. 2 weeks later, I got called into HR. They informed me that an internal investigation had concluded my intellectual property had been misappropriated. They apologized. They offered me a cash settlement. I declined, and gave me a special assignment with a raise and a new title while they sorted things out. As for Tina, she was formally reprimanded and told that the only way to keep her position would be to accept immediate reassignment to Northgate, Alaska HQ for the next fiscal year. She was stunned, tried to appeal, even threatened to quit. But quitting would forfeit all of her stock options and bonuses. So she went. Within 3 months, she was posting photos of moose outside her hotel room, complaining about minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit temps, and passive-aggressively tagging the company in posts about how resilience builds character. I almost felt bad. Almost. The epilogue. I kept climbing, slowly and steadily. 2 years later, I did land that same promotion, minus the Alaska clause. I run the region now, and I made sure to build a team that values integrity and collaboration. Tina, last I heard, she left the company, tried to start a consulting firm, and it fizzled out. Moral of the story, If you're going to steal someone's work, make sure it doesn't come with an all-expenses-paid trip to the Arctic Circle.